Beloved chosen one, everything around you has gone still for a reason. Heaven has pressed pause on time itself because this moment is sacred. The words you are hearing are not random. They are a summons from eternity. You were not born to blend in. You were born to carry fire, to bear light in a generation that has grown dim. Heaven is watching, waiting for your response. You are standing at the threshold of a test that cannot be avoided because it was written into your destiny before you ever took your first breath. You have endured storms that others could not survive. You have stood when every force told you to bow. Every betrayal, every delay, every unanswered prayer was not punishment, it was preparation. Heaven does not anoint those who quit. Heaven anoints those who endure. The sleepless nights, the silent tears, the moments when you almost walked away, they were forging a strength in you that only trials can produce. Do you feel it? That stirring in your spirit is not anxiety, it is awakening. God is calling you higher, drawing you out of everything that once felt comfortable. The test before you is not about pain, it is about proof. It will prove that your faith is real, that your heart still beats for heaven, that your obedience outweighs your fear. You may have wondered why doors shut so suddenly or why familiar paths disappeared. It was not rejection, it was redirection. Heaven has rerouted you toward purpose, away from distraction. The test is designed to expose what cannot travel with you into the next chapter. Let go of what no longer carries light, and your steps will find holy rhythm again. Every chosen vessel faces a moment when silence feels unbearable. You ask, where is God? Yet, even in the silence, He speaks through circumstance, through timing, through divine interruption. The test you face is not proof of His absence, but evidence of His trust. He trusts you to remain faithful even when heaven seems quiet. Remember, faith is not built in comfort, it is forged in conflict. The darkness surrounding you is not punishment, it is training ground for discernment. When your vision is clouded, lean on revelation instead of sight. Trust that even unseen hands are weaving victory out of confusion, preparing your soul to recognize true light when it breaks forth. This is the hour when spiritual sight must replace natural vision. What others call loss, heaven calls alignment. What they call delay, God calls design. Stand still and let the proving process complete its work. Your obedience in this season will echo through generations. Because chosen ones are not tested for themselves, they are tested for those who will follow. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." Let these words sink into the depths of your being. God's plan for you has never changed. The delays did not rewrite it. The detours did not erase it. And your mistakes did not cancel it. You are still on schedule, still on heaven's timeline, still chosen. The final test is not meant to make you question your worth. It is meant to reveal it. When the fire comes, do not run. When the walls shake, do not hide. This is the refining hour where heaven removes what cannot remain. Every true chosen one must face the refining flame. The test will reveal whether you are built on sand or on solid rock. And you, beloved, are built on the rock that never moves. You may not feel ready, but readiness is not a feeling, it is obedience. Step forward even trembling, because faith often looks like walking when you cannot yet see the path. You are not walking alone. Invisible hands are guiding you. Angelic guards surround you. The very breath of God sustains you. Every heartbeat declares that purpose still burns inside you. Listen, this test will not destroy you. It will unveil you. It will strip away what was never meant to stay, and strengthen what was always divine within you. Your pain is proof that something holy is being born. So do not despise the pressure. It is producing oil. Do not curse the darkness. It is where light proves its power. Now, before you move on, mark this moment. Let heaven see your faith in action. Like this message, to seal your agreement with what heaven has spoken. Share it so another soul may awaken to their own calling. Leave a comment with the number 777, a prophetic symbol of divine completion. The reminder that what God starts, He always finishes. And if you have not already, subscribe and stay connected, because the journey of revelation has only begun. Chosen one, you are not behind. You are right on divine schedule. The final test is not a punishment, it is heaven's graduation ceremony. You are about to rise higher than ever before. Chosen one, the weight of your calling begins to settle on your shoulders now. It is not a gentle burden, it is sacred pressure. Holy responsibility. You were never designed for ease, you were crafted for endurance. The anointing resting on your life demands discipline, and the fire of purpose demands purification. Heaven has measured your capacity and found you capable. Even when you doubt yourself, the world has told you that being chosen should feel glamorous. But heaven's truth is different. Being chosen means carrying what others avoid. It means hearing divine instructions that others ignore. It means saying yes when everything in you screams no. You were not picked for comfort. You were picked for confrontation with fear, with darkness, with every lie that ever told you that you were not enough. The weight you feel is not there to break you, it is there to shape you. God places the mantle before the manifestation, to test the strength of your shoulders. You carry spiritual authority that must be proven in private before it can be revealed in public. This is why you are often misunderstood, why people cannot comprehend your journey. They see your steps, but they do not know your orders. They see your silence, but they do not hear the heavenly dialogue taking place within you. Do not curse the heaviness. That heaviness is evidence that heaven trusts you. Only those who have been crushed can carry oil. The anointing flows through those who have known pressure. You have been pressed in spirit, yet preserved in purpose. That is why, even after everything, you are still here, still standing, still burning. The Word of God declares in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." Do you hear it? Chosen one glory is outweighing grief. The eternal outweighs the temporary. What you are carrying now will be nothing compared to what is about to be revealed in you. The weight of your current trial is heaven's signal that promotion is near. You cannot carry the next level of glory without first being strengthened by the present struggle. The enemy wants you to see the weight as punishment, but it is proof of trust. God does not burden the unfaithful. He places weight only on those He intends to raise. If you feel pressure, it means heaven has chosen you for responsibility. The heavier the burden, the greater the oil that will flow from it. You might feel unseen, but heaven keeps perfect records. Every silent yes you have whispered. Every battle you have fought in secret. Every tear you have cried alone, they are all written in heaven's book. Nothing has been wasted. Every act of obedience has become a brick in the foundation of your divine assignment. And hear this clearly: comparison will kill your confidence. Do not compare your pace with another's progress. Your journey is calibrated differently because your calling requires different preparation. Some are trained for moments, but you are being trained for movements. That is why your process feels longer. Heaven is not simply building a miracle in your life. Heaven is building a legacy through your life. Chosen one. Remember, pressure precedes purpose. Before the crown, there is always the cross. Before the throne, there is always the wilderness. The greater the calling, the deeper the crushing. But this is where your faith becomes fire. When the world expects you to fall, heaven expects you to rise. There will be days when your body feels tired, when your spirit feels faint, when your heart whispers, "I can't keep going." Yet even then, grace will reach you. Strength will visit you like wind through dry bones. Hope will whisper again, and you will stand not because of your own might, but because of divine sustaining power. You are learning that faith is not about feelings. It is about trust in the unseen. It is about walking through valleys without fear, about holding on when the light dims. The weight of your calling demands this maturity to move forward, not because the road is easy, but because obedience has become your instinct. This season is sacred. Heaven is refining your posture, not your popularity. God is teaching you to carry spiritual authority with humility, to stand with grace when others crumble under pressure. Every moment you choose patience over panic, peace over pride, trust over trembling, you grow stronger in the unseen realm. So, breathe deeply. The same God who placed this calling on your life will equip you to carry it. Nothing He assigns is beyond your capacity. The pressure you feel now is simply heaven's reminder that you are stepping into something eternal. You are being strengthened for the next assignment, prepared for the next revelation. And when it feels too heavy, whisper these words: the glory outweighs the grief. Because it does. Heaven never miscalculates the weight it gives to the chosen. What you carry now will soon transform into light. This is your proving ground, and you are passing the test. Chosen one. The war has shifted from the visible to the invisible. You feel it, the tension not around you, but within you. This is the silent battlefield where your faith is tested without witnesses. The greatest war you will ever fight is not against people or circumstance, but against the thoughts that rise against your calling. It begins quietly. Doubt whispers. Fear argues. Memories of failure replay like echoes in your mind. You start questioning if you truly heard God right, if maybe you misunderstood the signs. But deep inside, something holy refuses to bow. That unshakable spark within you, it's proof that heaven's breath still burns in your chest. The war inside is not evidence of weakness. It is confirmation that your destiny is dangerous to darkness. Chosen one. You must understand, every time you choose faith over fear, you win an unseen battle. Every time you silence the voice of shame and stand tall, you drive back the enemy. You may not hear applause, but heaven roars for you. Angels mark every act of obedience with light. The enemy's plan is to make you doubt your worth, to make you surrender before the victory manifests. But you are wiser now. You have learned to recognize the schemes, to discern the familiar lies that once bound you. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians, in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." You are not crazy for feeling the weight of invisible resistance. You are not imagining the spiritual heaviness. The darkness recognizes your light and fears your awakening. You've been wondering why things suddenly became harder after you decided to walk in obedience. This is why. The moment you align with heaven, hell pays attention. But fear not, what opposes you cannot overpower you. The battle intensifies because your breakthrough is near. This internal conflict is heaven's classroom. God is training your spirit to rule your emotions. Every storm inside you becomes a lesson in dominion. Every tear becomes oil for future intercession. You are learning the discipline of silence, the strength of restraint, the authority of peace. You no longer react, you respond with wisdom. You no longer panic, you pause and pray. This is how warriors are forged, not on stages, but in solitude. The hardest battles are the ones that reveal who you really are. When no one encourages you, when no one sees your fight, when you still choose holiness despite heartbreak, that is when heaven crowns you with unseen honor. You may not feel victorious, but the mere fact that you are still standing is victory itself. There are nights when your mind screams louder than your prayers, when your faith feels like a flickering candle. Yet even then, the Spirit intercedes for you with groans too deep for words. You are never fighting alone. The unseen hand of God steadies your trembling soul. Chosen one, do not despise the inner struggle. The same fire that purifies gold is the fire refining you. Every thought you capture, every temptation you overcome, every dark whisper you silence it, all adds to your spiritual authority. When you emerge from this war, your peace will no longer be fragile, it will be fortified. And now, in this very moment, I ask you to take a small act of prophetic agreement. In the comments, type, "I rise again." These 3 words are not just a statement, they are a spiritual declaration. Every time you speak them, heaven records your resilience. You are declaring that you refuse to stay in defeat, that your story does not end in the valley, that you are choosing resurrection over resignation. Let those words be your banner. I rise again means that even after failure, you return stronger. Even after betrayal, you still believe. Even when the inner war exhausts you, you do not retreat, you rise. You are aligning your voice with heaven's decree. The kingdom of darkness trembles when a chosen one speaks faith aloud. The battle inside you is producing something eternal. The conflict you feel today is the evidence that your spirit refuses to settle for mediocrity. You were born for victory. You were created for dominion. Every scar will one day shine as testimony that God's strength was perfected in your weakness. So, take a breath. Let peace fill your lungs. The war is not ending yet, but you are changing in the midst of it. You are becoming who you were always meant to be, a warrior clothed in light, calm in the chaos, steady in the storm. When others collapse under pressure, you will stand because you have learned where your strength truly comes from. Chosen one. The silent war within is not your downfall, it is your awakening. You are not losing your mind, you are gaining mastery over it. Keep fighting the good fight, for the victory within will soon manifest without. The kingdom within you is rising. Chosen one. The past begins to whisper again, not to wound you, but to remind you of how far you have come. The echoes of old pain rise not as chains, but as evidence of endurance. Heaven allows memory to return, not to torment you, but to testify. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every moment you thought would destroy you was really a chapter in your divine education. You once cried out, asking why certain people left, why doors closed so abruptly, why prayers seemed unanswered. Now, slowly, you begin to understand. Those departures were divine protection. Those delays were divine alignment. You were not being denied, you were being refined. The hand of God was writing in invisible ink, crafting meaning into every moment that once felt meaningless. There were nights when you stared at the ceiling, praying for peace that never seemed to come. Yet even then, heaven was working behind the veil, weaving redemption through your tears. Your pain became a seed planted in sacred soil. You thought you were breaking, but you were actually being planted for resurrection. And now, the roots of your spirit are deeper than fear, stronger than doubt, as Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, in chapter 16, verse 33. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. These words are not mere comfort, they are a divine pattern. Trouble was never a sign of divine absence, it was an invitation to overcome. Every test of your past was training your spirit for triumph. You have faced storms that would have drowned others, but you learned to breathe underwater. You survived what was meant to silence you. That survival is your sermon now. Look back. Chosen one. But do not linger there. The past is not your prison, it is your teacher. You were never meant to carry it, only to learn from it. What was once shame now becomes wisdom. What once broke you now becomes the very testimony that sets others free. Heaven wastes nothing. Every scar you bear is sacred ink that heaven uses to write your authority. Think of Joseph, betrayed by brothers, forgotten in prison, yet lifted to a throne at the perfect time. His pain was not detour, it was preparation. So it is with you. Every delay and detour has been divinely timed. If you had arrived earlier, you would have arrived unready. But now, you have experience that cannot be stolen and faith that cannot be shaken. When you recall the wounds, remember this, you were being trained in trust. When you faced rejection, you were learning to lean on divine acceptance. When you felt abandoned, you were discovering the presence that never leaves. You were learning to recognize God's fingerprints even in the dark. The enemy wanted your past to become your cage, but God transformed it into your compass. You no longer walk wounded, you walk wise. You no longer stumble through regret, you step forward with revelation. The very memories that once triggered tears now trigger thanksgiving. And yet, humility remains your anchor. You do not boast in your survival, you give glory to the one who kept you. You understand now that every loss was a lesson, every tear a teaching, every delay a divine discipline. Heaven trusted you with struggle because heaven saw the strength you did not yet know you carried. Do you see it now? Chosen one, how the puzzle pieces begin to fit. The years of confusion were not wasted. Every wrong turn led you closer to right timing. Every heartbreak redirected your heart toward holiness. You were never wandering, you were being guided by unseen mercy. Your past no longer defines you, it refines you. The old version of you died in those dark nights. The new you rises each morning, clothed in wisdom, grace, and unshakable peace. What used to hurt now heals others. What used to haunt you now helps you discern. You are walking proof that redemption is not a concept, it is a person, and his name is written upon your heart. The beauty of this transformation is quiet but undeniable. You no longer seek revenge. Because peace has replaced bitterness, you no longer crave validation. Because purpose has replaced insecurity, you no longer chase answers. Because trust has become your home. The same God who walked you through the valley will guide you across the mountain. Now, as you breathe in this new awareness, feel heaven's satisfaction. You passed tests you didn't even know were tests. You survived seasons that were meant to silence you. Every moment of surrender became a doorway to strength. And now, you stand in the aftermath of divine refinement, stronger, purer, wiser, and more radiant than ever. So, walk forward. Chosen one. The past bows behind you. You are no longer defined by what broke you, but by the one who rebuilt you. The echoes of pain no longer accuse you, they applaud you. Every scar now sings of victory, and when you look back one final time, you will not see loss, you will see legacy. Chosen one. The wilderness has quieted. The storms that once roared have begun to fade into a distant hum. You stand on sacred ground now, not because the soil is smooth, but because every step you took in faith has made this place holy. You have been wandering, yes, but not without purpose. The voice that led Israel by fire and cloud has been leading you through your own unseen deserts, shaping your soul with divine precision. The season you are entering now is not about surviving, it's about serving. The wilderness built you, but the next chapter will reveal you. You are not meant to hoard the light you've received, you are meant to pour it out, like water flowing from a cracked vessel. For it is the cracks, the scars, the flaws that allow God's glory to shine through you. The voice of heaven speaks through the writings of David in the Psalms. In the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." You see, chosen one, the brokenhearted become the healers. Those crushed by life become the carriers of divine compassion. Every tear you've shed has watered the seeds of empathy within you. You understand now that true ministry is not built from perfection, it grows from pain transformed into purpose. The test you endured was never just for you, it was for those who would one day need your story to find strength for their own. Imagine your heart as a lamp. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every quiet prayer is oil poured into that lamp. When you shine, you do not just light your own path, you illuminate the way for others still stumbling in darkness. This is how the kingdom expands, not through grand gestures, but through faithful hearts willing to serve. And yet, service requires surrender. It asks you to give, not out of abundance, but out of love. Sometimes, the greatest offering is not gold or silver, but time, compassion, and presence. But for this message to continue reaching hearts across the world, even your smallest gesture matters. When you like these words, you help spread light. When you share them, you plant seeds in unseen hearts. When you subscribe, you become part of a living movement, a remnant rising. Chosen ones connected by the same divine call. If your heart feels stirred to give beyond words, to help sustain this flow of messages, then let it be a sacred act, not out of pressure, but out of partnership. A donation, no matter the size, becomes more than currency. It becomes a key that unlocks more voices to hear what you are hearing now. Consider it like bread shared among travelers. What you release in faith feeds someone else's soul. Picture this, a lighthouse standing on a cliff. The keeper cannot fuel the flame alone. The oil must be replenished, the glass polished, the beacon maintained. Every like, every share, every gift is a drop of oil that keeps the fire burning. Together, we become co-keepers of that light. And the ships lost at sea, the weary hearts scrolling in silence, find their way home because you chose to keep the flame alive. Chosen one. Generosity is never about what leaves your hand, it's about what heaven multiplies from it. When you sow into something that carries truth, you partner with eternity. You join hands with heaven in the work of awakening souls. Do not underestimate what your participation ignites. The smallest spark can set entire forests ablaze. And remember, God does not bless closed fists. He blesses open hands, hands that give, help, and lift others higher. You have received light. Now, become a vessel through which light flows. You are not called to consume inspiration, you are called to embody it. The world is desperate for authenticity, for voices carrying both grace and fire. Let yours be one of them. You are stepping into a divine rhythm, now giving, receiving, growing, glowing, like rivers that never dry because they never stop flowing. Your spirit will stay alive as long as you keep pouring into others. Heaven's economy is not like Earth's. The more you give, the richer you become. Your giving, whether a word, a share, or a seed, will return to you pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So, beloved, pause and feel gratitude rise in you. The same God who walked you through the fire now invites you to help ignite others. If these words have watered your soul, respond in whatever way your heart leads, like share, subscribe, or even sow a seed of faith to keep the fire burning. Every act, no matter how small, ripples through eternity. You are not a consumer of messages, you are a carrier of movement. The message of the chosen ones does not end here, it continues through you. Let your light speak. Let your heart give. Let your story shine. And as you do, may heaven whisper over you, "Well done, faithful one. You did not hide the flame, you shared it." Chosen one. Lately you've begun to notice patterns, numbers repeating, moments aligning, divine whispers woven into the rhythm of your days. You wake at the same time each night. You glance at the clock and see familiar digits glowing back at you. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven has been speaking through sequence and sign, marking your path with holy patterns. You have asked for clarity, and heaven has responded not with thunder, but with numbers, gentle reminders that your steps are counted, your seasons are known. The creator of time itself speaks in symbols. When you see the same number appear again and again, it is not superstition, it is synchronization. Heaven is letting you know you are aligned with divine timing. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, The ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 8, verse 28, declare, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Yes, even numbers can become language when heaven desires to speak to the heart. When you see patterns repeat 1, 1, 1, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, it is not to alarm you, but to awaken you. You are walking through a prophetic pattern. These repetitions are heaven's fingerprints on your timeline. Reminders that destiny is not delayed, it is developing. You are beginning to discern that nothing in your life is random. The people who entered or exited your story, the timing of opportunities, even the closed doors, all are divinely choreographed steps in a heavenly dance. God is aligning events in the unseen realm, and the numbers are the echoes of that movement. Each sign says, "Stay in step. You are not off course." Chosen one. Pause for a moment and look back. How many times did you think something was over, only for it to circle back at the exact right time? How many times did provision appear just when you thought all hope was gone? These were not accidents. These were divine alignments that defied coincidence. Heaven was showing you that you are not wandering, you are walking in order. The patterns in your life carry messages if you listen deeply enough. The repetition of delay means patience is being perfected. The repetition of conflict means your discernment is being sharpened. The repetition of waiting means something powerful is maturing in the background. The numbers you see are not random codes, they are heaven's countdown to revelation. When you see them, whisper gratitude instead of confusion. Say, "I see you, Lord," because every pattern points to his presence. You are learning a new way of hearing, a way that bypasses logic and reaches straight into the spirit. God speaks differently to his chosen ones, while others need signs in the sky. You receive whispers in your soul. He uses numbers, colors, dreams, even fragments of songs to communicate purpose. He hides revelation in plain sight, so only those attuned to his frequency can understand. That's why your awareness feels heightened lately. You are being tuned to heaven's wavelength. And yet, with revelation comes responsibility. Signs are not meant to replace faith, but to reinforce it. The numbers you see are confirmations, not commands. They remind you that destiny is unfolding, but they also call you to readiness. You are being invited into deeper trust, not superstition. Heaven is not asking you to chase signs, but to recognize them as gentle nods that you're still on course. These divine patterns are heaven's way of reminding you the plan is intact. The path is guided. The timeline is sacred. The signs are not there to control you, they are there to comfort you. Even when you feel lost, the repetition of grace keeps guiding you home. Now, chosen one, take a moment and acknowledge this alignment. If you have been seeing numbers on clocks, receipts, screens, or dreams, it means heaven is marking your awareness. At this moment, declare your agreement with what God is showing you. Comment the number 888 below. 8 is the number of new beginnings. And heaven repeats it threefold to symbolize complete renewal: spirit, soul, and body. When you type 888, you are declaring that you are stepping into divine order, that the confusion is breaking, and that a new chapter is beginning. This simple act is not ritual, it is revelation expressed. Type it as a prophetic gesture, 888. and as you do, whisper, I am aligned, because you are. Every breath you take, every decision you make, every door that opens or closes, it is all aligning to divine design. You are not late. You are not lost. You are right on heaven's schedule. Let the repetition of numbers remind you of the repetition of grace. God keeps circling back to rescue you, guide you, and speak to you until you finally realize you have always been seen, always been chosen, always been loved. So, when you see the signs again, don't dismiss them. Smile and say, I understand now. Because heaven doesn't just speak through thunder, it speaks through patterns that only the chosen can perceive. Chosen one. The shaking has begun. Everything familiar seems to tremble: relationships, plans, comforts, even the sense of who you thought you were. But listen closely. What is shaking is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to reveal what cannot be shaken. Heaven does not allow the storm to expose your weakness. It allows it to unveil your foundation. The places you once felt secure begin to loosen because God is transferring your trust from people to promise, from structure to spirit. The shaking is not cruelty, it is cleansing. Every layer of false peace is being peeled away so that only what is eternal can remain. You have prayed for elevation, but elevation requires separation. God cannot lift you higher while you cling to what is beneath. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, in the book of Psalms, chapter 62, verse 2, Truly he is my rock and my salvation, he is my fortress. I will never be shaken. Do you feel the tremor beneath your feet? It is heaven's remodeling. Everything built on temporary emotion, everything not aligned with eternal truth, must shift or fall away. It is not punishment, it is preparation. When God prepares a foundation for a greater structure, He first tests its strength. The shaking you feel is God's construction, not destruction. Think of a tree during a storm. The wind thrashes its branches, bending them nearly to breaking. But with each storm, its roots grow deeper, anchoring it more securely. That is you. Every gust of chaos is pushing your roots deeper into divine soil. The surface may sway, but the source stands firm. The shaking touches relationships too. Some people are drifting from your life, not because they failed, but because their season has ended. You cannot carry everyone into your next chapter. Some were scaffolding, temporary structures that helped build you up, but were never meant to remain when the true structure stands. Their departure is not rejection, it is release. In this holy trembling, you will learn what truly matters. You will realize that peace is not the absence of movement, but the presence of trust. When your plans crumble and your emotions quake, remember that the rock beneath you never shifts. God has not changed His mind about you. The promise still stands. Though the path may alter, do not resist the shaking, surrender to it. The more tightly you hold on to what is fading, the more it hurts to let go, the more freely you release. The lighter your spirit becomes. The shaking is breaking the grip of control, reminding you that surrender is not loss, it is liberation. There was a time when you equated stability with safety. But God is teaching you that stability is found not in circumstances, but in Christ. He is pulling away the scaffolds of self-reliance so that your faith can finally stand on its own. What feels like chaos is actually calibration. Heaven is fine-tuning your alignment. This is the season when idols fall, Anything that tried to take God's place, be it pride, fear, validation, or comfort, is trembling now. The shaking reveals loyalties, exposing what you truly trust. And as illusions crumble, truth emerges. You are seeing now what was always there, but hidden beneath layers of familiarity. It is painful, yes, but sacred. The ground that quakes beneath you is holy ground, sanctified by surrender. Every crack in your plans becomes a doorway for light. Every loss makes room for greater love. Every shaking sound is heaven whispering, "I'm still here." When everything external wobbles, look inward. Inside you lies the unshakable kingdom, the place where God's Spirit resides. That stillness you find when you close your eyes and breathe deeply, that is the anchor that no storm can uproot. Heaven does not remove storms, it reveals your ability to sleep through them. You are learning resilience that cannot be taught in comfort. The trembling is teaching trust. The breaking is birthing boldness. The instability around you is awakening immovable strength within you. And when the shaking ends, and it will, you will look around and see that only truth remains. Chosen one, take courage. What you are losing is not your life, it's your limitations. What is falling away could never carry the weight of your future. The storm is not destroying your foundation, it is cleaning it of everything that was never meant to be there. When the shaking stops, clarity will come. You will see who stands with you, what still stands within you, and what no longer needs to stand at all. What remains will be pure, unbreakable, and divinely anchored. So, do not fear the trembling ground. Let the winds roar. Let the walls quake. You are built on the rock. When all else shifts, you remain. The shaking is temporary. The foundation is eternal. And when the dust settles, you will rise not as the person who entered the storm, but as the vessel heaven intended all along. The shaking was not to destroy you, it was to display the strength that had always been hidden beneath the surface. You are not falling apart. Chosen one, you are falling into alignment. Chosen one, you have entered the hour of isolation. It is quiet here, too quiet sometimes. The world feels distant, and the familiar warmth of connection has faded. You are surrounded by people, yet unseen. You speak, but few truly understand. Do not mistake this silence for abandonment. This is not rejection, this is divine concealment. Heaven hides what it values most until the appointed time. Every chosen one experiences a season like this. Joseph was hidden in prison before he was called to the palace. Moses was hidden in the wilderness before he confronted Pharaoh. Even Jesus was hidden in Nazareth before the heavens opened above him. God uses obscurity to prepare greatness. You are not being punished, you are being preserved. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 2, He made me into a polished arrow and concealed me in His quiver. You, too, are in the quiver of God. You have been sharpened by trials, polished by pain, and now you wait silently, patiently for the moment when heaven will release you toward destiny. The waiting is not wasted, it is the shaping. The arrow is useless without the tension of the bow. The stretch you feel right now is not pulling you apart, it is positioning you for purpose. Loneliness is the forge of divine intimacy. When the voices around you fade, the voice within becomes clearer. This is where you learn to distinguish divine whisper from human opinion. Isolation trains your hearing, your discernment, your dependence. It removes the noise so you can recognize God's breath in the stillness. There were days when you longed for company, when you reached out but found only silence in return. Heaven saw it. Every unanswered message, every empty room. Every night you fell asleep, wondering why no one stayed. Heaven recorded it all. But the reason for the silence was simple. You were not being ignored, you were being insulated. God was protecting you from distractions that would dilute your destiny. In isolation, you start to see clearly. You realize that some connections were seasonal, not eternal. Some people loved your light but could not handle your fire. Some admired your calling but feared your conviction. Heaven removed them not to hurt you, but to heal you from dependency on applause. God is teaching you to stand alone with confidence, because those who walk alone with Him never walk in darkness. This hidden season feels endless, but it is holy. You are learning to be comfortable with quiet progress. You are being built in secret so you can withstand exposure later. Public platforms require private strength. Before God reveals you to many, He must first prove you in solitude. There is a sacred power in being unseen. The soil never complains about being dark, yet it holds the miracle of growth. Roots dig deep before fruit appears. You are in that phase now, the rooting phase. Heaven is anchoring your identity so deeply in divine truth that when the winds of recognition blow, you will not topple. The enemy will try to convince you that isolation means insignificance. But remember, even the stars are silent until night falls. You were hidden so that when your time comes, you will shine without burning out. Hidden seasons develop endurance. Endurance develops wisdom. Wisdom births authority. You may be surrounded by silence, but heaven is busy on your behalf. The connections meant for you are being prepared. The opportunities aligned with your name are being fashioned in the unseen realm. Your absence from certain circles is not failure, it's strategy. God removes you before He reintroduces you, so that the version of you that reappears is unrecognizable to the enemy. In this quiet, you are also learning the language of rest. The world glorifies hustle, but heaven honors stillness. Here, in isolation, you learn that peace is not laziness, it's power. You are being trained to act from alignment rather than anxiety. You will soon move with precision because you learned patience in obscurity. Chosen one. Breathe deeply. The loneliness that once felt unbearable is now becoming sacred space. The isolation that once wounded you is becoming your incubation. You are discovering that solitude is not emptiness, it is intimacy. You are not alone in this wilderness, the same presence that guided prophets, kings, and shepherds walks beside you now. When your season of hiding ends, and it will end, you will emerge radiant, rested, and refined. Those who once overlooked you will wonder where this new strength came from. They will not recognize the quiet warrior shaped in the secret place, and you will smile, knowing that heaven's hands did what human help never could. This is not a pause in your story, it is the page where your identity is rewritten. Let the silence mold you. Let the solitude sanctify you. When the time comes, the same God who hid you will unveil you. And when He does, you will be ready, not desperate for attention, but secure in purpose. Chosen one. Isolation is not the end of your journey. It is the chamber where destiny prepares its voice. What looks like stillness is actually strategy. Stay patient. stay pliable, and stay faithful. Heaven has not forgotten you. Heaven is finishing you. Chosen one. There comes a point in every divine journey when heaven goes silent. The voice that once thundered becomes a whisper. The signs that once glowed so clearly now fade into mystery. You begin to ask yourself, did I do something wrong? Did heaven turn away? But listen carefully. Silence does not mean absence. It means trust. God is quiet not because he has left, but because he knows you have matured enough to walk by faith. This is the sacred stillness where your roots go deeper. When heaven stops explaining, your heart starts believing. It is here, in this holy hush, that faith transforms from theory to reality. The same God who spoke in fire now teaches you through quiet. The silence is not punishment, it is promotion. It means you have graduated from needing constant reassurance. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Hebrews, in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 1, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." You see, chosen one. Anyone can trust when heaven is loud. But the mark of the mature is the ability to trust when heaven whispers or says nothing at all. You are being trained to hear in subtler ways. The silence invites you to lean closer, to remember that faith does not depend on sound, but on certainty. The quiet season refines your hearing. When external noise disappears, internal clarity appears. God is no longer shouting over your circumstances. He's teaching you to discern his presence in the stillness between your heartbeats. Every pause, every delay, every unanswered prayer becomes a hidden classroom of trust. The silence also tests your motives. Do you love God for his voice or for his presence? When the voice fades, will your devotion fade too? These are the questions heaven whispers into the silence. You are learning to love the giver more than the gifts, to trust the master even when the map is blank. Sometimes silence comes right before revelation. It is the breath heaven takes before speaking something that shifts everything. The seed lies buried in the soil, unseen, but alive. The silence you feel now is not the grave, it's the womb. Something is forming beneath the surface. The delay you dread is actually development. You will notice that during silent seasons, distractions grow louder. The enemy will try to fill the void with fear, with noise, with counterfeit voices. That is why discernment is crucial now. Guard your mind like a fortress. Choose stillness over scrolling, prayer over panic, worship over worry. In silence, your focus becomes your greatest weapon. Remember Elijah, on the mountain there was wind, earthquake, and fire, but the Lord was not in them. Then came a gentle whisper, and that whisper carried the presence of the Almighty. That is where you are now, in the gentle whisper stage. Heaven has drawn close, not distant. The silence is intimacy, not abandonment. So breathe. Chosen one, let the quiet teach you what noise never could. Let patience do its perfect work. You are learning to walk in unseen strength, to anchor your soul beyond emotion. And soon, the same silence that frightened you will become your favorite sanctuary. You will begin to crave this stillness, for it is where revelation lives. There will come a day when you will thank God for the silence. You will look back and realize that it was during those voiceless nights that you discovered your true voice. The silence forced you to hear your own spirit speak truth back to you. You became your own encourager, your own prophet. your own intercessor. Heaven was training you for authority. You were never abandoned, only entrusted. Heaven trusted you with quiet so you could prove faithful without confirmation. You were being prepared for leadership, for one day you will guide others through their own silent nights. You will tell them, "I know how this feels, but I promise, He is still here." And now, in this moment of reflection, I invite you to make a declaration of awareness. In the comments, type "I still trust." 3 words, but they carry eternal weight. When you type "I still trust," you are silencing the enemy's greatest weapon, doubt. You are announcing to heaven and to hell alike that your faith is not built on feelings, but on fact that God is good even when He is quiet. You are saying, "Though I can't hear Him, I will still follow Him." These words unlock spiritual endurance. Let them rise from your spirit, not just your screen. I still trust. Say it when the prayers go unanswered. Say it when nothing makes sense. Say it until your heart believes it. Because every time you declare it, heaven draws closer, the silence shifts, and peace floods the space where fear once lived. Chosen one. This quiet season will not last forever. The voice will return, clearer than before. But when it does, you will hear differently. You will speak differently. You will carry peace that cannot be shaken. You will have learned what only silence can teach, that faith is not fragile, and neither are you. Chosen one. As the silence begins to lift, the world around you starts to speak again, but not every voice carries truth. This is the age of counterfeit light, where illusions masquerade as revelation and deception wears the mask of wisdom. The air itself hums with imitation miracles, false prophets dressed in sincerity, and words that sound holy but lack the spirit. You must learn to discern not every glow is glory. Not every voice is divine. The Word of God declares through the Apostle Paul, in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 14, "And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light." The times you live in demand more than belief, they demand discernment. The enemy no longer approaches as darkness, he comes clothed in light. He doesn't shout rebellion, he whispers convenience. He offers shortcuts that look like blessings but lead to bondage. Heaven is calling you to sharpen your sight, to look beyond what shines and perceive what sanctifies. You will encounter messages that sound loving but twist truth, teachings that promise peace yet breed pride. Guard your heart. Test every spirit. Truth does not flatter, it convicts. Real light reveals. It does not merely soothe. Many voices will tell you what you want to hear. Heaven will tell you what you need to hear. Think of it like standing in a marketplace at sunset. The vendors shout, each claiming their goods are purest, their light brightest. Yet, as night deepens, only the lamps filled with true oil continue to burn. That is how you discern truth. Time exposes imitation. Be patient enough to wait until the darkness reveals which lights endure. Your spirit will often sense what your eyes cannot see. When peace withdraws, pay attention. When confusion increases, step back. The counterfeit is subtle. It mimics revelation but leaves residue of restlessness. True light never demands haste. It brings harmony. If you feel pressured instead of prompted, that is not heaven. God's leading may be firm, but it is never frantic. The world will try to sell you many forms of light. Some will come through screens, others through people who speak his name, yet do not carry his heart. That is why you must stay rooted in the Word. Scripture is not an old book, it is your compass in the storm. It will tell you when the glow you see is genuine fire or merely reflection. Now, as you walk through this season of discernment, remember, your voice also carries weight. You are a lantern in someone else's darkness. Every time you share a word of truth, every time you sow encouragement, you push back the counterfeit glow and make room for genuine light. That is why what you do here matters. When you like, share, or subscribe, you are not merely interacting, you are amplifying truth in a world echoing with confusion. You become part of heaven's network, a current carrying divine messages into places your feet may never reach. Each gesture, no matter how small, fuels this flow of light that keeps souls from fading into deception. If your heart has been nourished by these words, consider going beyond engagement. Consider sowing, not out of duty, but out of partnership. Every offering, every donation poured into this mission becomes a drop of oil that keeps the lamp burning brighter. The world funds its noise. Heaven sustains its message through the hands of the faithful. When you give, you do not lose, you multiply. What you release from your hand does not vanish. It transforms into light that touches lives you will never meet. Imagine it like a field at dawn. Each act of generosity is a seed, small but living. Over time, those seeds bloom into testimonies. Someone in despair hears a word of hope because you chose to sow. Someone on the edge of giving up feels seen because your gift helped carry the message forward. In heaven's economy, giving is never subtraction, it's multiplication. And so, I invite you, keep the flame alive. Like the message, if it stirs something in you, share it as a beacon to someone wandering in confusion. Subscribe to remain connected to this stream of revelation, so that the light flows not only to you, but through you. And if you feel led, give as your heart guides you freely, joyfully, prophetically. Chosen one, you are not merely a listener, you are a lantern bearer. Together, we are building a bridge of light across a world saturated with imitation. Let every act, whether a click, a word, or a seed, be your declaration, I stand for truth. Your discernment will protect you. Your generosity will multiply you. The counterfeit may shimmer for a moment, but truth endures for eternity. You are part of that eternal light, now a flame heaven trusts to never flicker out. Chosen one. The air around you feels heavier now. The pressure has increased, and the flames of trial burn hotter than before. You've wondered why. After surviving so much, the heat would rise again. But this is no ordinary fire. It is the refining fire. It does not come to destroy. It comes to define. You are being purified, stripped of residue, polished for purpose. Every chosen vessel must pass through this furnace. The greater the destiny, the greater the refining. Fire reveals authenticity. It burns away what pretends and preserves what is pure. What survives the flame is what is meant to last. You prayed for strength, and heaven answered not with comfort, but with combustion. This is how heaven forges warriors, as was spoken through the prophet Zechariah. In the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, this third I will put into the fire. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, "They are my people." And they will say, "The Lord is our God." Vital, chosen one. Fire has purpose. It purges impurities invisible to the eye. It removes what looks stable but cannot withstand glory. You are not being punished, you are being perfected. The smoke around you is not the sign of destruction, it is the signal of transformation. The refining process is painful because it demands surrender. You cannot control fire, you can only endure it. The gold does not argue with the flame, it trusts the hands of the refiner. So must you. You are learning to yield, to let God melt away every false layer, every hidden fear, every piece of pride that would crack under future weight. There are moments when you'll feel as though everything familiar is melting. The identity you once clung to begins to dissolve. The roles you used to play no longer fit. The words that once defined you now sound foreign. Do not panic, this is how rebirth feels. You are being stripped to be seen for who you truly are. Refinement is not random, it is targeted. God knows exactly which areas need flame. He turns the heat only as high as necessary. Never more. When the gold is ready, the refiner can see his reflection in it. That is the moment he knows the work is complete. The same will be true for you. The more clearly heaven sees itself in your responses, the closer you are to completion. You may cry, you may ache, you may question, but know this, the fire is temporary, and the glory it produces is eternal. You are not burning down, you are burning bright. Every test that tries you strengthens you. Every tear that falls in the furnace becomes oil for your anointing. There are things that can only be learned in the fire purity. Patience, perseverance. These cannot be taught in comfort. Fire teaches obedience when understanding fails. Fire teaches surrender when answers are silent. Fire teaches worship when feelings vanish. And when you emerge, you will carry authority that cannot be faked because it was forged. Think of the blacksmith shaping a sword. The metal glows red under the hammer's rhythm, sparks flying with every strike. Yet the smith does not hit to harm, he strikes to strengthen. Each impact increases resilience. Each reheat deepens integrity. That's what God is doing with you. He is not punishing you, He is preparing your edge. Soon, you will cut through deception with truth, and through despair with faith. Fire also separates. It reveals who is truly for you. When flames rise, those who only loved your light but not your heat will step away. Let them. Not everyone is meant to stand near your refining. Some connections are combustible. They cannot survive proximity to your purpose. Do not mourn their departure, thank heaven for the clarity. And yet, amidst the heat, there will be moments of stillness, glimpses of grace that remind you the refiner is near. You will feel his breath in the blaze, whispering, "I am here." That voice will steady your soul when the process feels unbearable. When the fire finally subsides, you will rise radiant, unrecognizable to the version of yourself that entered the furnace. Fear will no longer cling to you. Doubt will no longer dwell in you. The smell of smoke will not linger on your garments, because what was consumed was never meant to remain. Chosen one, do not resist the refining fire. Let it complete its holy work. The gold does not shine by avoiding the flame, it shines because it faced it. So will you. When heaven looks at you after this season, it will see reflection, not residue. You are being transformed from vessel to weapon, from believer to builder, from wounded to warrior. The pain you feel now is the sound of heaven sculpting your strength. When you emerge, you will carry light that purifies others, because you yourself have been purified. So endure. Chosen one, stay in the flame until it finishes its work. For when the fire ends, what remains is glory, and you refined, radiant, resilient will finally understand why the heat was necessary. Chosen one, after the refining comes reassurance. The fire has done its work, the edges of fear have melted, and the residue of doubt has fallen away. The air feels lighter now, almost sacred. You sense something stirring around you, a divine motion beyond sight. This is the hour of angelic assignment, the moment when heaven deploys what has been waiting for you all along. Every test you endured was not only for your growth, but also for activation. Heaven moves when obedience matures. The angels assigned to your calling are drawn not by noise, but by alignment. And now, because your spirit has been refined, the realm of heaven begins to respond. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy. In chapter 31, verse 8, "The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged." These words are not metaphor, they are motion. Even now, unseen hands are rearranging what seemed immovable. Angels are walking into rooms you have prayed about, whispering into hearts you have pleaded for, and opening doors you forgot you knocked on. You have not been forgotten, you have been prepared for movement. Chosen one, the spiritual realm is far more active than you imagine. Every prayer releases permission. Every praise releases power. The angels assigned to you are not distant, they are waiting for the sound of your agreement. When you choose faith over fear, it signals heaven that you are ready for divine reinforcement. You have felt it lately, haven't you? Those moments of inexplicable peace, that gentle nudge to act, that sudden idea that feels too wise to be your own. These are not coincidences. They are divine collaborations between your spirit and heaven's messengers. Angels do not appear to entertain, they appear to execute. They bring order where chaos once ruled. You may have been walking through situations that made no sense, delays, detours, conflicts that appeared from nowhere. Yet every one of those moments served to clear the airspace around you. The spiritual realm is like the wind, invisible, yet capable of moving mountains of circumstance. Heaven has been sweeping away interference so that divine instructions can reach you without distortion. This is why you felt a strange calm after storms, why peace returns faster than before. It is the evidence that your atmosphere has changed. The angels have set camp around you, securing what you prayed for long ago. Psalm 91 said it clearly. He will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. What you sense now is that protection taking form, but with angelic activity comes accountability. When heaven releases help, it also expects obedience. You cannot hold the keys of the kingdom and still cling to fear. The moment you speak faith, angels move. The moment you speak doubt, they pause. Your words build the runway for their landing. Choose carefully what you declare, for your tongue now carries weight in two realms. There will be nights when you will feel sudden warmth during prayer, or an unexpected surge of courage. when you were ready to give up. These are confirmations that you are not walking alone. Even when you feel small, heaven sees you as strategic. The entire atmosphere around you has been reordered to fulfill God's timeline through your obedience. This season is holy because it shifts everything. The unseen has begun to touch the seen. Miracles will start to manifest quietly, answers appearing naturally. Conversations turning unexpectedly in your favor. Opportunities rising from unlikely soil. When these things happen, do not credit coincidence. Whisper instead, "Heaven moved." Chosen one. This is not fantasy, it is faith at work. You were never meant to walk this path by yourself. The same angels that ministered to Jesus in the wilderness walk beside you now. The same presence that parted seas, silenced lions, and broke chains stands behind your steps. You are surrounded by divine partnership, even if your eyes have not yet caught up with the reality. And now, as you read these words, I want you to acknowledge what heaven is already doing on your behalf. Comment the number 444 below. 4 is the number of divine order, the symbol of stability, foundation, and angelic presence. When you type 444, you are not chasing signs, you are agreeing with them. You are declaring, "Heaven's order surrounds me. I am guarded, guided, and grounded." This is not superstition, it is synchronization. The comment becomes covenant, your way of saying, "I see what heaven is doing, and I align with it." When you type 444, let your spirit whisper gratitude. Thank heaven for the unseen protection that stopped accidents before they happened, for the invisible strength that kept you standing when everything tried to make you fall. Gratitude builds bridges between realms, and every thank you becomes a magnet for miracles. Chosen one. This is your confirmation. You are not unprotected, not unseen, not unheard. The hosts of heaven surround you, not as distant guardians, but as active allies. You are stepping into divine partnership, the era of movement, momentum, and manifestation. The waiting is over, the working has begun. Stand still, breathe deeply, and let the unseen do what only heaven can do. You are surrounded by help that never sleeps, and guided by hands that never miss. The angels move where faith leads, and your faith is leading well. Chosen one. Heaven begins to stir again. The fire that refined you has settled into a steady glow. And now something supernatural is shifting in the unseen. You can sense it, a change in the atmosphere, a trembling in your spirit. What once felt distant is now drawing near. This is the hour of divine activation, the moment when heaven releases angelic assignment over your life. You may not see them, but the air around you is alive with movement. Heavenly messengers have been dispatched, carrying instructions, protection, and provision. They come not as myth, but as mission, the same way angels ministered to Elijah under the broom tree, the same way they strengthened Jesus in Gethsemane. They now move toward you, responding to the cries you thought went unheard. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy. In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 8, "The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged." You are not alone in this next phase. While your eyes see limitation, heaven sees coordination, angelic hands are aligning the unseen pieces of your promise. What you thought was delayed was actually being delivered through divine timing. The delays were protection, the silence was set up. And now, the invisible army assigned to your destiny begins to take position. Chosen one. Understand this. Angels are not distant beings with harps and halos. They are warriors, messengers of movement. They stand at the intersection of your obedience and heaven's command. When you pray, they move. When you declare truth, they act. When you step forward in faith, they go before you, clearing paths your feet have not yet touched. You may notice divine coincidences increasing now, the right people appearing at the right moment, closed doors reopening, messages or dreams confirming what your heart already sensed. These are angelic fingerprints. The invisible is touching the visible, and heaven's coordination is unfolding in real time. But remember, angelic movement often follows human obedience. God sends help when you take the step. The waters of the Jordan did not part until the priests placed their feet in them. In the same way, the moment you move in faith, heaven moves with you. Your next act of obedience will release what's been waiting above you. You might feel unworthy of such divine attention. But remember, heaven does not send help where there is no purpose. The presence of angelic assistance is proof of your assignment. You are carrying something sacred, and heaven guards what carries glory. There will be moments when you sense divine nearness so strongly that you cannot explain it. A sudden peace in chaos, a warmth during prayer, a whisper that feels like comfort wrapping around your soul. These are angelic interactions, heaven's language of reassurance. You are seen, guided, covered, chosen one. This next stretch of your journey requires faith that cooperates with the supernatural. You cannot rationalize what God is about to do. You can only receive it. Heaven is arranging connections and opportunities far beyond your imagination. But to see them, you must remain spiritually awake. So pay attention to signs that repeat, doors that open with ease, or people who speak confirmation into your heart without knowing your prayers. These are not coincidences, they are coordinates. Heaven's navigation system guiding you toward your next assignment. Now, as you recognize the divine movement surrounding you, it's time to respond prophetically. Numbers carry meaning, and heaven often uses them to mark new beginnings. Today, declare your alignment with this angelic shift by commenting the number 4444 below. 4 is the number of creation and stability, symbolizing the 4 corners of the earth, the 4 winds, the 4 seasons. When repeated, it represents divine order being established in every direction of your life. By writing 4444, you're declaring that heaven's order now governs your steps, that angels surround your purpose, and that no power of darkness can interrupt what God has set in motion. Let it be your digital altar, a visible act of invisible faith. Every number typed becomes a whisper of agreement between you and heaven. It says, I am ready for divine alignment. You're not summoning anything strange, you're simply agreeing with what heaven is already doing. The release has begun. The messengers have been mobilized. The shift that once seemed distant is now in motion. Do not be surprised if peace floods you suddenly, or opportunities arrive effortlessly. That is how angelic orchestration feels natural yet supernatural, subtle yet undeniable. Chosen one, Your season of isolation prepared you for this moment of activation. You are no longer hidden, you are helped. You walk now under divine escort, carrying heaven's authorization. The same hand that refined you now releases you. The same fire that tested you now fuels you. So step boldly. Heaven walks beside you. The unseen army marches ahead. The coordinates are set. The instructions clear. Move forward in faith. And watch what happens when earth and heaven work as one. Chosen one. You have seen the shaking. You have endured the silence. And you have stood in the refining fire. Yet, even now, when you stumble, grace reaches for you again. The hand of mercy has not withdrawn. It never will. You are walking through the valley of human weakness, but above you flows the river of divine compassion. Every falter becomes an opportunity for heaven to remind you that love never runs out. You must understand, this failure is not the end of faith. It is the proof of need. God never expected you to be flawless. He expected you to be faithful. The path of the chosen is not a straight line of triumph, but a winding road of redemption. You rise. You fall. You rise again. Each step leaves traces of humility in its wake. And humility becomes the fragrance that attracts grace. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3, verse 19, "The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He enables me to tread on the heights." Even when your footing slips, the Spirit steadies you. Even when shame whispers that you have failed too deeply, mercy speaks louder. Get up. The righteous fall 7 times but rise again. That rising is the mark of those heaven calls beloved. The world counts the number of times you fall. Heaven counts the number of times you stand back up. Grace is not a cushion for complacency. It is the power to continue. It lifts you from ashes and reminds you that purpose still breathes within you. The moment you repent, the chains of condemnation break. The enemy wants to trap you in guilt. But God uses guilt as a doorway to grace. He does not expose to embarrass, he exposes to embrace. Think of Peter, the man who swore he would never deny Jesus and then did it 3 times. The man whose pride broke into pieces under the weight of his own humanity. Yet after the resurrection, Jesus did not shame him, he restored him. "Feed my sheep," he said 3 times to match the 3 denials. Grace does not ignore your failure, it transforms it into fuel for service. There are times you will hear the accuser remind you of your mistakes. He will whisper that you've gone too far, that God has moved on without you. When that voice rises, remember this truth: grace outruns guilt every single time. Where sin abounds, grace abounds much more. You cannot out-sin the Savior's mercy, nor can you outrun his reach. Mercy is not a one-time event, it is a lifelong escort. It walks with you through weakness. It sits beside you in sorrow. It waits patiently until you remember who you are. Grace is the voice that says, "You are still mine," even when your own voice can't echo it back. Chosen one, do not despise the seasons when you fall. They teach you dependence. They remind you that strength is not the absence of struggle, it is the presence of surrender. God is not disappointed in your humanity. He is invested in your growth. Every misstep is an invitation to lean deeper into love. You will begin to notice that after every fall comes a fresh wave of revelation. Brokenness sharpens your sight. You begin to see people differently. to understand pain with more compassion, to speak truth with more tenderness. The cracks in your vessel become channels for living water. Those who encounter you will feel it. The mercy you've received will radiate through your presence. This is what it means to be chosen, not that you never err, but that you never stay fallen. Heaven has written resilience into your spirit. Mercy is your default setting. Grace is your inheritance. And each time you rise again, you confirm heaven's investment in you. You are learning now that holiness is not a performance, it is a relationship. It grows through repentance, through daily return, through the quiet courage of trying again. It is not about perfection, it is about pursuit. You chase the heart of God, not because you are flawless, but because you are His. When others would give up, you keep walking. When others would hide in shame, you step back into the light. That is the evidence of divine mercy alive within you. The same God who called you before your birth knew every failure you would make and still chose you. His choice was never based on your perfection, it was anchored in His purpose. Chosen one. Grace is not weak, it is fierce. It wrestles you out of despair and wraps you in destiny. It defends you against accusation and restores your identity. It is heaven's proof that love wins every battle. So breathe deeply. Forgive yourself. Stand up once more. The unseen hand that lifted you yesterday still extends toward you today. And as you take the next step forward, remember your stumbles do not disqualify you. They reveal how strong mercy truly is. Chosen one. Do you feel it across the earth? Hearts like yours are awakening. You are not alone in this sacred calling. All around the world, other chosen ones are beginning to rise quietly, courageously, purposefully. You may not know their names, but heaven does. You share the same fire, the same mark of divine election, the same ache for truth that this world can no longer ignore. This is the gathering of the remnant, the convergence of those refined by storms, tested by silence, and purified by fire. You have walked your path in isolation, but now your light begins to recognize the lights of others. Souls once scattered are being drawn together like embers drifting toward a single flame. Heaven is forming a network of warriors, invisible to the eye, but unstoppable in the spirit. We are reminded through the writings of Paul in the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 5, so in Christ we, though many, form one body, and each member belongs to all the others. You see, this rising is not competition, it is communion. The kingdom is not built through rivalry, but through unity. The chosen ones are not meant to outshine each other, but to illuminate the world together. When your flame meets another's, the darkness flees further. You carry something the world needs, but so do they. Together, you become an unbreakable constellation of light. The world may never broadcast your gathering, but heaven watches with joy. Across nations and languages, a silent army is aligning teachers, dreamers, intercessors, artists, mothers, fathers, builders, and visionaries. Every one of them carries a different melody. Yet, when heaven listens, it hears one song, Chosen One. Imagine this awakening as a great garden. Each soul is a seed planted in different soil, some in cities, some in villages, some in quiet corners no one visits. Yet, beneath the surface, The same rain falls. The same sunlight reaches. The same spirit breathes. What looked like scattered seeds are now beginning to bloom in harmony. The fragrance rising from this garden is worship, its unity in diversity, strength in surrender. This is where your story expands beyond yourself. The purpose was never just personal, it was always collective. Your endurance becomes someone else's encouragement. Your testimony becomes someone else's map. When you share your light, you multiply it. That's why every act of engagement matters more than you think. When you like these messages, you do more than approve, you amplify heaven's sound. When you share them, you plant truth in the soil of another soul's timeline. When you subscribe, you stay connected to a river of continual revelation, ensuring that this movement of awakening never dries. And if your heart feels stirred to give, to sow into what heaven is doing through this stream of words, do it not out of pressure, but out of partnership. Think of it like water poured into a well that never runs dry. Every drop you give sustains the flow that refreshes others. The oil that fuels this light is kept burning by those who believe in the mission. Your generosity becomes sacred participation in what God is building. When you donate, you are not just funding content, you are funding connection. Every seed you release becomes a bridge between your life and another soul waiting to awaken. It is the unseen work of heaven made visible through your hands. And because unity is more than financial, it's spiritual, I invite you to join in one prophetic act of agreement. In the comments, type "I choose my crown." These 4 words are not arrogance, they are alignment. You are not claiming superiority, you are accepting responsibility. The crown does not symbolize comfort, it symbolizes calling. When you type "I choose my crown," you are declaring that you will no longer hide from your assignment. You are stepping forward as part of the rising remnant, ready to carry the weight of glory with humility. Let these words echo across digital fields like wind through wheat, thousands of voices typing in harmony, "I choose my crown." Each comment becomes a spark. Each spark becomes a flame. And together they create a fire that algorithms cannot contain. This is how heaven uses the modern world to ignite ancient truth. You are not just watching this movement, you are part of it. You are one voice in a divine chorus that is gathering strength every day. The Spirit is knitting hearts together across oceans, across generations, across every line once drawn by fear. The kingdom is rising, and you are standing in the center of its unfolding story. So, like this message, if it touches you, share it if you feel heaven's pulse within its rhythm. Subscribe if you wish to walk with this remnant continually. Give, if your spirit feels led, as a sacred act of support. And above all, declare it boldly, "I choose my crown." Because crowns are not given to the perfect, they are placed on those who persevere. And you, beloved chosen one, have persevered. You are part of something eternal, something that will continue long after these words fade. Together, we are the gathering flame, the luminous echo of heaven's heartbeat on earth. Chosen one, the horizon before you begins to glow. The path that once seemed endless now narrows into clarity. The final test is drawing near, not a test of strength, but of surrender. You have learned to endure storms, to wait through silence, to rise from ashes, and to walk through fire. Now comes the most sacred challenge of all obedience, when the outcome is uncertain. This is not a test you can study for or strategize around. It is not written on paper, it is etched upon your heart. The question heaven asks now is simple. Will you trust me completely, not partially, not conditionally, but entirely? The final test is not about your performance, it is about your posture. It measures not your ability to achieve, but your willingness to yield, as was written by the psalmist in the book of Psalms, chapter 46, verse 10, "Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." Stillness, that is the essence of this final test. Not apathy, not inaction, but spiritual composure in the face of uncertainty. The world will urge you to react, to rush, to grasp for control. But heaven whispers, "Be still," for in stillness, surrender becomes strength, and silence becomes strategy. You will soon face a choice that looks small on the surface, but carries eternal weight beneath. The temptation will not come as rebellion, but as reason. The enemy will disguise disobedience as practicality. He will say, "You've waited long enough, move now. Take what you can." But patience in this moment is proof of trust. The final test separates the impulsive from the obedient, the fearful from the faithful. This is the mountain where faith must rise above logic. You will not be shown the whole picture. You will be asked to step with only a sliver of light. That is how heaven measures maturity, trusting the next step without demanding the full map. The final test is not about seeing the outcome, it is about proving your allegiance to the one who holds it. Chosen one. Remember how Abraham stood on the mountain with Isaac. The knife trembled in his hand. The promise seemingly about to perish, and yet obedience prevailed. The ram was revealed not before the act, but in the act. That is the mystery of faith. Provision hides behind obedience. You cannot see the ram until you climb the hill. You cannot see the door until you take the step. Many never pass this stage because they confuse comfort for confirmation. But the call of the chosen rarely feels comfortable. It stretches your faith to the breaking point, then teaches you that faith does not break, it bends into worship. You are standing at the edge of such a moment now. Every hesitation you feel is fear disguised as wisdom. Every excuse you make is delay wearing the mask of discernment. This final test will strip you of control so that confidence can be reborn. It will ask you to trust even when logic shakes, to walk even when the path disappears beneath your feet. Heaven will not shout the instructions, it will whisper them, and only those tuned to peace will recognize the direction. You may lose things in this test, people. Plans, possessions. Do not panic. What falls away was never foundation. God never removes anything essential. He removes what prevents elevation. The pruning you feel is preparation for fruitfulness. Every goodbye becomes the echo of go forward. This test also exposes your loyalty. Will you obey even when obedience costs you? Will you follow when following isolates you? Heaven's greatest rewards are reserved for those who choose the narrow road when the broad one looks easier. The test is not designed to break you, it is designed to reveal that you were never breakable to begin with. And when the moment arrives, and you will know it when it does, your spirit will tremble. But peace will hover above the trembling. That peace is your signal. Step when it comes. Don't hesitate. Don't look back. The Red Sea does not part until your foot touches the water. The miracle waits on movement. If you falter, grace remains. If you stumble, mercy stands. The test is not a trap, it's an invitation. Heaven is not watching to see if you fail. Heaven is watching to reveal your faith. Every angel assigned to you is leaning forward, ready to move at your act of obedience. The entire unseen realm holds its breath, waiting for your yes. Chosen one, this is what every lesson before has been leading to the moment when trust outweighs fear. The final test is not about proving something to God, it is about discovering what He has already placed inside you. When the moment comes, do not rush, do not resist. Stand still until peace points the way. Then walk with quiet confidence. The one who called you is faithful. The one who tested you will reward you. And when the test is complete, heaven will whisper, "Well done, chosen one." The dawn after the test always feels different. The air carries a strange stillness, neither loud nor empty, but full. You realize that something unseen has shifted forever. You have walked through the valley, endured the silence, stood in the flame, and obeyed when nothing made sense. And now, you stand on the other side, not the same, not untouched, but transformed. This is the moment heaven was preparing you for all along. The test was never about proving your worth. It was about revealing your maturity. Every tear, every delay, every unanswered question has brought you to this threshold of glory. You are not who you were when this began. You carry a different weight now, not of burden, but of blessing. The light in your eyes has deepened, tempered by understanding. The ancient words recorded in the second letter of Timothy, in chapter 4, verse 7, declare, "I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith." These are not just words of closure, they are the anthem of completion. You have fought not with swords, but with surrender. You have run not to escape, but to endure. And you have kept the faith not because it was easy, but because something within you refused to let go. That endurance is your crown. Chosen one, you now carry the mark of those heaven calls, tested and proven. The battle was never meant to crush you, it was meant to crown you. Every hardship you endured was polishing your spiritual armor. Every silent prayer was forging your authority. You are not merely a survivor, you are a sign that faith triumphs. Look around, the landscape of your soul has changed. The barren fields have begun to bloom. The areas where you once felt weakness now overflow with wisdom. Even the scars that remain shine with quiet glory, each one a reminder of mercy's endurance. You are living proof that the fire purifies but does not consume. You may not feel victorious yet, but victory often wears humility. It walks quietly, no longer needing applause. Your triumph is internal, your strength invisible but undeniable. Heaven recognizes you now. Angels know your name in a new tone, one of respect. They have watched you fall and rise, break and mend, doubt and believe again. And now, your obedience echoes through eternity. This is the stage where heaven entrusts you with greater authority. You have been faithful with pain, now you will be fruitful with purpose. But the crown you receive is not a trophy to display, it is a symbol of stewardship. To wear it well, you must remember the lessons of the journey. Power without humility corrupts. But you have learned humility in fire. You will not wield your crown in pride, but in compassion. The greatest leaders are those who remember what it was to crawl. The greatest healers are those who remember what it was to hurt. You will carry tenderness that power cannot erase. You will speak truth with mercy because you know how mercy sounds in the dark. This is what sets the chosen apart. They do not rise for their own glory, but to reflect the glory that lifted them. Now, as you step into this new season, understand that the test was not the end, it was the threshold. Beyond this lies assignment. The world still trembles in confusion, still groans for redemption. And now, heaven sends its refined ones into that world. You are being commissioned, not to preach perfection, but to carry presence, to be a living reminder that God still moves, still heals, still calls. There will be moments of rest and reflection now. Take them. Let gratitude flood your soul. Let awe anchor your heart. You will sense heaven's approval, not as thunder, but as peace, a peace that sits quietly upon your shoulders like a mantle. That peace is your confirmation. The test is complete. Chosen one, do not look back to measure how far you've come. Look ahead to see how bright you now shine. What once broke you has become your brilliance. What once silenced you has become your song. You are walking evidence that obedience always ends in victory. The crown upon you is not heavy. It fits perfectly because it was always meant for you. Wear it with reverence. Speak with kindness. Lead with grace. Love without fear. And when you move, let heaven move through you. This is the moment all of heaven has been waiting for, the unveiling of the refined, the risen, the ready. You are no longer in the test, you are in the testimony. You have kept the faith, and faith has kept you. Now, go forth not striving, not proving, but being. You are the living proof that the chosen never fall without rising, never walk without purpose, never shine without first surviving the darkness. The journey is complete, but the calling continues. The world awaits your light. Chosen one, before you go, pause for one last moment. Feel the quiet around you. It is not emptiness, but completion. You have walked through revelation after revelation, and now you stand at the end of this divine journey, crowned not with pride, but with peace. Heaven has marked you, refined you, and released you. But the story does not end here. It continues through you. Every word you have heard, every truth that has touched your heart, now becomes a seed meant to bear fruit in the lives of others. Let what you've received not remain within you. Share it. Somewhere, someone is waiting for a voice of hope, and your simple act of sharing could become the bridge between their despair and their awakening. When you like this message, you're not clicking for vanity, you're agreeing with heaven's purpose. When you comment your reflections below, you're adding your voice to a chorus of faith that stretches across nations. Your words may be the one spark that reignites another's courage. And when you subscribe, you're choosing to stay connected to this flow of light, a continuous stream of truth that will keep your spirit nourished and your flame alive. If these messages have stirred something deep within you, if you felt heaven's nearness in these words, share this moment as a gift. Pass the light forward. Every like, every comment, every share becomes a ripple in eternity. You are not just a listener, you are a carrier of what heaven is doing in this time. Chosen one, the crown upon you shines brighter when you lift others. So, let your final act today be simple, yet sacred, like share, comment, and keep this flame alive. for the message of the chosen ones has only begun through you.